Diya ma'am, wait.
Ma'am, your center. Ma'am, your center.
Yeah.
There that mothers, even the poorest of mothers, when they are empowered to have a voice, they can be mama bears, not only for their children, but for children in their communities. We've had moms who have taken out dharnas to stop alcohol and gambling dens in their village. We've had moms harass district authorities to get a well in the village. We've had moms do kitchen gardens in the Anganwadis outside their homes so that their children can get proper nutrition. And we've had moms who've opened up their minds and their hearts.
These amazing moms from across the city with us. Now, all of you get the opportunity to make a difference as well, along with Diya. If you guys, for every post and story that you tag on social media and tag My Baby Chakra, the Moms Co and Cry, 100 rupees will be donated on your name to Cry. And the person who posts the fastest, not the L'Occitane, not the bingo, this is another one. There's another one coming up. The person who posts the fastest, okay. Well, the person who posts the fastest gets an opportunity to come on stage and with Diya, hand out the check to Cry. So let's take 30 seconds. I'm going to urge the panel, take your phones out. Aarti, you have my phone. Post stories, tag. Okay, I'm going to read out the tags again. My Baby Chakra, the Moms Co, Cry India. Do stories. You'll have been taking so many amazing pictures. Start tagging the people with the maximum stories. Barkha is going to announce the winners for this one. My Baby Chakra, the Moms Co, and Cry India. Mona, please stay right on tune about the L'Occitane passes. They are all... Mona? And she is an actor, she is an entrepreneur, she's an environmentalist, and all in all, an amazing human being who does fantastic things for the planet. And, you know, it's an absolute honor to have you here today, Diya. This entire community is really here to hear you speak today, and they're all hoping that they get to interact with you and ask you all kinds of questions, and that time will come too. Moving on from Diya, Nisha isn't... Okay, so we will introduce Nisha when she comes. Naya... If you don't know Naya, y'all are definitely not winning the L'Occitane or the other thing, okay? So, Naya is the mom star numero uno. She is the founder of Baby Chakra, and she's got some fabulous things she's done. She's the co-founder of the Good Glam Group, South Asia's largest content-to-commerce conglomerate, and founder of Baby Chakra, India's most trusted parenting platform. Moving on to Tejal Bajla. I always have to be nice to Tejal, guys. She's the owner of the school that my kids go to. So, like, more than anything else, we have to be super nice to Tejal, okay? But Tejal, I mean, again, I'm sure she's someone known to all of you here. The Mommy Network is something that each one of us knows and loves thoroughly, and she's a co-founder at Mommy Network. She also owns Brain Smith, which is a fabulous wooden toy brand. What else, Tejal? I know the list is endless, but let's go on. All things baby, oh my God. So all my international products that I needed for my kids both times, and especially the second time when we were in a pandemic, somehow all things baby still managed to get it to me, which is fabulous. Tejal, you are an absolute mom star. You know it. My child has to do like super amazing in this school. I have to keep saying nice things about Tejal. Okay. We're going to move on. So coming to Tanushree Pandey. Tanushree is an expert doctor at Baby Chakra. She is an MS OBGY with fellowship in reproductive medicine from Germany. She specializes in reproductive medicine and runs her clinic called Hope. So that is up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed out the very, very important, a very, very important member of this panel, Barkha. She is my co-host today. That's Barkha Chawla. Barkha is a mom to a 3-year-old baby and has flown in all the way from Bangalore to be here today. She is the community head parent pod at Baby Chakra. She is working towards building a community of moms that inspire and look up to each other. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you so much, Simone. I mean, now I'm going to try to introduce you. I know that I don't need to, but okay. So I'm going to take a shot at it. Simone obviously is my wonderful co-host, and Simone has grown up in Dubai. Then she moved to New York to study at Parsons. That's where she took up her love for fashion. She moved to India, and now Simone is like a luxury parenting and lifestyle creator. Thank you so much.
Fabulous. Thank you, Barkha. That was awesome.
Done, talk to Simone.
Yes, I love you, T. Okay, so let's start the sharing circle now.
So before we start the sharing circle, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about what exactly is Moms Talk. So as moms, we try to find our community because every mom's journey is very unique to them. So even if you have a friend who was pregnant and now has delivered, her journey will be very different than your journey. And that's why as moms, we need like a village, like they say, right? And that's what, this is the very first edition of Moms Talk that we are hosting. And we really need to come together as moms to help each other and inspire each other. And this is a no hold-ups meetup, and we can talk about our experiences. So I'm going to quickly jump into our very first question. So I want to ask this to Tanushree. What brings you here today, and what are you hoping to achieve through this sharing circle by Baby Chakra?
What brings me here is my amazing association with Baby Chakra, Naya, and Barkha, and everyone here, because I want to share a little story right at the beginning. Might not be very all happy, but that is how reality is. So I had just started practice in Mumbai, and I think I'd done 1 or 2 events with Baby Chakra, and I had a live session to do in October. And on 26th of September last year, I lost my mother all of a sudden to a massive heart attack. And I called them up and I said, I cannot face the audience, I cannot do it. And they said, no, we are your family now and we're not going to let you go. So on 4th of October, which was barely like 10 days from when I'd lost everything, I guess, I came online and I said that I don't know what am I going to be saying, but it's all about mother and child, and I'll try to find my belonging through you guys. And today when I see so many mothers here and so much of positivity, so I think that's what makes me come here. Thanks.
That's such a...
And can I just add to that? So, our DIP, Doctor Integration, Interaction, whatever, right? I need coffee, guys. Bring in the sleepy owl. Yeah. So the team is here, Naina and Ayushi. And, I think that snapshot, Dr. Pandey, really, I think all of us actually kind of teared up because, when she said, put it very beautifully in her message to all the audience, saying that, I'm not doing any other live chats, but I'm doing the one for Baby Chakra because this is my way of paying homage to my mother. And I am in service of mums and kids like Baby Chakra is. And I still remember I had goosebumps on my hand watching that. Yeah. And that's why we really wanted her here today as well. So, yeah.
Can we pass on the mic to Dia? And Dia, would you talk about what brings you here today and what are you trying to achieve through this sharing circle with Baby Chakra?
Well, it's a new phase in my life. It's one that has been the most incredible experience. I've always wanted to be a mother. And now that I am a mother, I can't even begin to express how gratifying, how humbling, how exciting, how wonderful, how terrifying it's been. And I think like everyone else, I want to be able to share that space and just get to know other mothers better and understand from all of you how you're dealing with it and how you enjoy it. But more than anything else, I'm just here to be a part of what is really necessary, which is a sense of community and sisterhood. And it's so wonderful that Baby Chakra and Momsco are doing this in partnership. And I hope Mom's Talk continues, you know, and more mothers come together to share. Because I don't think, I have to just share with all of you that I had my child extremely prematurely. He was born in his 6th month. And it was only mothers who reached out to me with their stories of overcoming their challenges and talking about how they had had a premature birth and how, you know, their children were doing. That gave me such a strong sense of hope and optimism and gave me a lot of courage at a time that I don't think I would have been able to feel the kind of courage I did if it wasn't for those stories from those mothers. So sharing really helps and connecting really helps. And I'm so glad we're doing this.
Thank you so much for sharing that story with us, Dia. It's really, it's the whole essence of Mom's Talk. Teju, would you like to?
So I'm here, right?
I didn't get into the story.
Yeah, the story will come soon. So, you know, multiple reasons, but one of the most powerful things is, like, you know, Dia mentioned, is that when moms come together and when they share, powerful things happen, right? Across my journey of 7 years of, you know, meeting so many mothers through business, through work, through personal relationships, each time I have shared vulnerably and authentically, I have always derived something. You know, that one line, that one sentence, that one thought that you would take back, and it would change the way you would see things or you would relate to or resonate with. And today I'm here, you know, apart from the fact, and I will go on speaking about Naya very shortly, but apart from the fact that I truly believe in everything that Naya does, and she's a wonderful friend, I'm here to really do my bit to share authentically and to hear your share, because if we can take back that one thing, I think it's a job well done. And I think we should create more of these you know, judgment-free advice sharing platforms where we can really come out openly. And the second reason that I'm here is obviously because of Naya. She's a very, very dear friend, a fellow entrepreneur, somebody I have reached out to early in my career for advice. You know, she wasn't a mother then, so she reaches out for motherly advice to me. But somebody I have reached out to so often, every time I would have a roadblock at work. And she has shared so selflessly, right? Told me what is the right thing to do, what not. And I'm here for her today to cheer everything that she does. And I'm so happy to be here.
By the way, I owe Tejal my current nanny. Okay, so.
Okay, but I'm not.
So we know how. So everyone, Tejal.
Nanny Tejal.
Well, okay, before we move to the next question, one of you, come on, tell me, what does Baby Chakra mean to you? What does community mean to you? What does all this amazing stuff that Baby Chakra does, which is getting moms together and creating this really, really strong community, what does that mean to you? Dia, what was your toughest moment what has been your toughest moment as a mom?
This is a really tough question to answer because there have been quite a few. The first, of course, assumably, was the decision to bring my baby out. So I had to go through a surgery for my appendix while I was in my 5th month. And there must have been some kind of medical residue, some kind of leftover something that caused an infection in my body. And even though I'd spent a good 21 days in hospital on IV antibiotics and everything else, and praying every day through that time that none of this would affect my baby, because I was going through what is called rigors, where your body physically shakes so badly that 4 people had to hold me down, and my fever would rise to 104 degrees. And then it would take 45 minutes of those rigors, and until the fever came down, the rigors would not stop. And it was 21 days of that in hospital. So every day I was praying that nothing untoward would happen to the baby. And finally, when I got discharged and went home, on the second day, I started spotting. And I had to go back to the doctor, and he said, you know, your placenta is hemorrhaging. We have to get the baby out. And this was now in my 6th month. So the toughest thing for me really was to see my 820-gram baby coming into this world at a time where the pandemic had hit, and I wasn't even allowed to hold my child for the first 2.5 months of his life. What made things even more difficult was that he was diagnosed with a perforation in his intestine. So there was a tear in his intestine. And we had to go through life-saving surgery 36 hours after he was born. Imagine a 820-gram baby going through surgery. And it was really at this time that I read and I heard and I watched mothers who had had preterm babies and the challenges that they had faced that gave me so much strength. And then, of course, Avian was in NICU for 2.5, almost 3 months. It was only when he was 2.5 kilos that they allowed us to take him home. And he was home with us for just 21 days before his next surgery. And his second surgery was to, so basically they took the intestine out. So they put something called the stoma. They create a stoma. And I didn't allow any nurse to touch him. I used to dress him myself. And when he went back for surgery, the doctor said he would be in hospital for a minimum of 21 days because that's how long it will take for the intestine to heal, for him to start passing motions. Oh my God, I was so potty obsessed. I still am. Moms know, right? That obsession. Yeah, but in my case, even more so. On day 9, this child was ready to come home. So for me, while we had all kinds of tough moments, I think just watching this child's fortitude and his, I believed only one thing through this time, that he had chosen me because I had prayed very hard for him and he was not going to leave me. I believed that with all my heart. But you can all imagine how terrifying most of those moments may have been. And it's just so empowering as a parent to gain that strength from an infant child because it's incredible the kind of life force they come with and exhibit, even though they're so physically tender and small and fragile. He's a badmash now. He's started walking. He speaks over 50 words. He's full of life and energy and fun and gratitude. So anything you hand Avian Azad Rekhi, he'll say, thank you.
That is...
I'm actually so envious. I wanted to ask you, I've never done this before, right? I haven't taken Avian for any event. I'm like, this is amazing. Next time I'll bring my baby and I want to know, I want to see whether he'll actually sit this peacefully because he doesn't sit for a second.
Boy child versus girl child. It is the truth.
No, but it's not a gender thing, Simone.
I'm telling you.
I have a friend who has a girl who is just as hyperactive as my boy.
You know, luckily...
Yeah, I know you're a mother of boys, which is why you're saying this.
And a girl.
Oh,
My
peaceful.
girls are like, it's like a girl play date is like a play date. A boy play date is like a typhoon hit the... Oh my God, they're out of control. Out of control. Oh. Okay.
I know lots of mothers who say that my daughter is just as hyperactive as your son.
Oh man, they are full of energy and that's how they should be. We have to learn patience, tolerance, gentle parenting, and all of that in the middle. Yeah. Would anyone else over here want to share their toughest moment as a mom? Hi. Okay, let's put our hands together for Nisha Rawal. So Nisha has been a part of the industry, the film and television industry, for 21 years. She has acted in soap operas, movies, reality shows, and all of it. She is a mother and now a fabulous content creator as well. So thank you, Nisha, for being here. I'm just going to continue where we stopped before Nisha came in. I feel like going back to what Dia said about gratitude, it's easy to say gratitude is, the best attitude, which of course it is. But it's this and its community that actually makes you remember what gratitude means, because it's so easy to become a victim and think of your problems being the biggest, right? I know I do, I have, I'm sure everyone has at some point. But when you start hearing other people's obstacles and things that other people have gone through, suddenly you're like, why was I even complaining? Like, what was I even thinking, And it just reminds you that much more to have gratitude. I mean, yes, my child was pulled out and he was in NICU, but he was in NICU for 24 hours. And I thought it was a nightmare. And then I hear stories like this, and suddenly I'm like, you know what? I had it so much easier. Thank you. So, yeah, really, honestly, it's been a great sharing circle so far. Barkha, you take over.
Welcome, Nisha. I would like to ask you one question. So, would you like to tell us all about how is it being a mom in the media industry?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Firstly, apologies for the delay. I think I've officially taken off this whole thing that I used to have this air about, that I'm always on time. So a big apology for that, and thank you for waiting. So about the question on how I feel as a mom from the media industry, I believe that, I've gone through a lot of transition periods in my life, like I'm sure most of us have. And right from the time where, there was only conventional advertising to now we've moved to the whole digital world. And thanks to that we're here today. I feel that being a mom in the media industry is definitely not easy, because you're judged for, tying your hair in a messy ponytail, or you're required to always be this perfect person like they see you on screen. They think that that's how you need to be off screen too. And I believe that just puts an added pressure. I'm sure as moms, we're all struggling every day, being as if being a mom just was not hard enough. So I believe that is just an added pressure. But thanks to the changing times that I said, that I belong to a world where I have seen it all, where I come from the time where people have shamed me for many things. And here I am today, where we are just a bunch of this strong community where we kind of, root for each other. So it feels good. And, gratitude, like she was talking about, that Simone said, I believe that that is all I have in my heart right now.
Thanks, Nisha. I'll move to Dia. How did you navigate change in your life? When you become a mom, your body changes, and there are other changes as well. How was your experience?
Honestly, Barkha, I didn't really get the opportunity to think about too much, only the fact that because of the background that I've already shared with you, there was just this urgent medical condition that we were all dealing with. So I'm really grateful that I didn't go through any kind of postpartum or any such. I had the wonderful care. My gynecologist is just the angel that I think we all need. He was excellent with handling me, especially given the circumstances. And the support of my family, my husband, my mother, was just extraordinary. So I can't really think back to anything that I had to struggle with, apart from just coping with understanding how I was going to be okay with being away from my child at such an early phase of his life, and how, this wonderful mother shared about how she believed that her breast milk really was the best medicine for her baby. And in my case, I wasn't able to lactate at all. And I think that was one of the most crushing things I had to deal with so early in my, in my child's life, that because he was born so prematurely and he was away from me and we didn't get the chance to even have skin to skin, my body just didn't produce the hormones it needed to. So there was a lot of all of that that I had to deal with. But having said that, a lot of people say this to me, you know, you don't look like you've just had a baby, or you don't look like you've become a mother. And I'm like, I don't know whether that's a compliment, because I'm pretty certain that if my child had reached full term, my body would have changed a lot more than it did. And it's oftentimes, of course, paid as a compliment, but in my mind, it figures as a reminder for something I was unable to do. And which is why I always tell mothers and, of course, everyone else that we really need to stop stereotyping what a woman should look like when she has a child. And this is a conversation we really need to have a lot more of. Like, Simone, you're gorgeous. Damn, you're hot. And I'm sure everybody says this to you too, right? And I'm sure you have your own set of struggles.
100%. I've done posts on this also.
Exactly.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I remember reading one of them. So yeah, I think this is something that we really need to change. But I have to admit that I read so much about postpartum because I think it's something that every woman must equip herself with the knowledge of. And especially make sure your family understands what postpartum is. I made sure my husband, my mother, everybody read up everything there was on it. And thankfully, I was, spared. But it can be horrifying for those who have to deal with it.
Talking about postpartum, I'm so glad that now people are doing it openly because, mental health and all the taboos around speaking about how you feel and all of that. Me, for one, I literally, like my son, it's my son's birthday in 2 days. And every time his birthday comes, I'm filled with joy. But it also reminds me of, one of the saddest moments of my life. And to me, my dog was my first child. And the only reason I pushed my doctor that hard for a natural delivery, even though things were against those circumstances, was because I was like, I have to go home. I cannot wait in the hospital one more day. My dog is sick. He needs me. That's my baby. I truly did not care about what was coming out. All I wanted to go back to was that guy at home. And I finally got home with my baby from the hospital 2 days after he was born. And 24 hours after that, my dog passed away. And it was, one of the hardest days. And then connecting with my child while I'm grieving massively, attempting to breastfeed, and like my mother with all that pressure. And there was so much pressure, do this, do that, do this. But I just wanted to run away. I just wanted to cry, scream, and, deal with all of that. But yes, it is work. It is my husband, everything around me. But honestly, it was work that got me back into my senses. And that is exactly what led to me starting to blog on Instagram. And here I am today. That is like literally how the Instagram journey began. So yeah, it's all of these things just come up in November. But we're all here stronger. I'm proud of myself. I know everyone sitting here is proud of themselves too, and I know that one day our kids are going to be super duper proud of us. Nisha, now since you're here, tell us, what has been your hardest moment as a mother?
Well, everybody is speaking so beautifully here, and I am humbled to be a part of this evening because it's just so endearing as well as inspiring at the same time to watch every mom out here just casually share. It's just like two friends sitting at a coffee shop and just sharing, That's the best part I like about this evening. So, well, I don't even know which part because I've been a mother for 5 years now, and Kavish has just turned 5. And before that, I think the hardest part of being a mother is when you carry a child and then you just feel the entire excitement of being a mom, and then one day you don't become one. Like I lost a child before Kavish when I was 5 months pregnant. And I think that was the hardest part because, you know, there are still those hormones in your body. They're telling you that, oh, you're still a mother. And then, you know, your breasts are full, your tummy hurts, and, you know, all of those signs that I've even forgotten the signs because it's been so long. But all that soreness in your body and all your shopping lists and the apps you've subscribed to, and they're telling you, okay, now your baby is the size of a watermelon and a pumpkin, and then one day you're just not pregnant. And then that's tough, you know? It takes over your life, and your mental health goes for a toss, and then you reach out, and then you form your own community, and you're there for each other. So I feel the hardest of our moments are the moments that make us the strongest. And that's the hard moment that made me strong, because after that, I took my own time to come out. It took me 7 years to get over or come to terms with the fact that, okay, my baby is now an angel. And that's when I announced this support group for women on my Motherhood Chronicles page, which is called Goodbye Angel. That's what I used to call my baby. And that's for all the mothers who can come together and, you know, whether born or unborn, whichever child they've lost, it's for them. And, you know, I'm not a doctor, but I can sure be a friend. So over a DM, I kind of talk to moms and give them strength. I talk about my journey, put them onto my therapist, and those are the little things we can do for each other. So I think the hardest part of being a mom is when one day you wake up and you realize you're not. Yeah, so.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Nisha, for sharing that so candidly with us. And that actually takes me to our next question. Naya, would you like to tell us all how is it being a mom entrepreneur?
Mompreneur. So, you know, I get asked this a lot. I mean, I get asked about this whole woman entrepreneur thing on panels. And, you know, the reality of the situation is there are what? Maybe of the 100 and whatever number of unicorns we have in India, there are probably only 5 or 6 that have women founders, co-founders on those unicorns, right? And it's extremely sad that that's the case. And I think the second part to it, of course, is there's very few moms. So I kind of know, like, I can count on one hand, like, the moms who I know to be moms who are co-founders of unicorns, right? And it's so rare, almost like a species, right? So I'll tell you, not the worst part, but I think a really tough part, you know, people think that, oh, you know, my background is I used to work at McKinsey, I've studied at Harvard Business School, I've had a lot of privilege in my life, right? A lot of luck, a lot of privilege. But building business, I think it's a very equal playing field. And I remember when I was pregnant, I came out of the bathroom, you know, after you like kind of figured you're pregnant, right, on the stick. And I was like, Sandeep, my husband, I told him, like, we're pregnant. And he was like, yeah, we're pregnant. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to tell my team? What am I, no. That was the first thing that came to mind. What am I going to tell my investors? And, you know, and he was like, are you crazy? You know? But, you know, you just put so much of yourself into building that is who you become. And I remember also just very quickly, I mean, of course, it's very joyful. For me, I've fortunately had a very joyful parenting experience overall, and that's why I'm really, like, just very inspired by the stories I hear. But I remember, you know, when Arya was born, and I delivered at Breach Candy, and I came out of the room, like, out of the theater after my C-Sec, and I immediately took my phone when I was in a position when I was checking my work emails, because I was doing a fundraise at that point in time. And we had literally 3 months of cash flow left in the business. And I was looking for my term sheet negotiation, and I just saw an email from a very key team member saying that, listen, I have to resign. And I was like, is that going to completely destroy my fundraise? And literally my family's like, are you crazy? What are you thinking of, you know? But anyway, to cut a long story short, I just want to share that, you know, I do want to acknowledge how much I love being a mom, but I also do want to acknowledge that I love being an entrepreneur. I love building, I love creating. I know when I look around us, I see so much passion, so much inspiration, so much drive in the women I meet every day. And I think the only thing I'd say is that don't lose yourself either way, right? Try and find that mythical balance and walk that tightrope, and just know that we're all in this together. So yeah, that's it.
So I work with Naya, like, on a daily basis, right? Hourly basis, yes. And let me tell you, she's the best mentor to have. Like the way she's supported me. Like I had a sabbatical of 3 years, 4 years before I started working again. And the way she supported me, and that's the reason I'm here in front of all of you and I'm able to talk here. So a big round of
Amazing.
applause for Naya. Dia, I would like to ask you a question. Personally, your life has evolved from being Femina Miss India to a lead actress and now an environmentalist, along with being an amazing, amazing mom. Did you change as a person, or the decisions you make are different from what was earlier?
No, Barkha. I mean, I think what happened after I became a mother was that I just became even more fiercely passionate about what I was doing. Because I think, I mean, I'm really grateful that I find myself in a place in life where everything that I do is aligned with my purpose. And whether it is creating content, or it's telling a story, or it's being at a talk, or whatever it is, it's all aligned with what I really, really care about. And I think what Avian's birth has done for me is just made me that much more determined to see us through this time. I'm going to share something really important with all the mothers here. You know, unfortunately, environmental action and climate change does not feature as a mainstream conversation, and it's not everybody's priority as it should be. Because, and I want to address this of mothers because there are these group of mothers at COP27 right now. They call themselves warrior moms, and they're fighting for air quality in Egypt. And unfortunately, what has happened is that we've created a society that is hyper-consumerist, and we've created a world that is just driven by that hyper-consumerism, that we pay very little attention to those things that truly bring balance and health into our lives. Yes, the yoga is important. Yes, the nutrition is important. Yes, it's important to have goals and aspirations in life. But at the end of the day, the one thing and the only thing that determines the health of our children is the health of our planet. And every choice we make each day in our business, in our home, in our individual choices impacts that. And I really want women, and especially mothers, to empower themselves with the knowledge that we need, because we are fighting not for the future of our children's lives, but for their present, today. You know, the AQI today in Bombay is over 258, which is really bad. Eventually, inhaling polluted air is going to create all kinds of complications in our children's lives. And as mothers, it should be our top priority. Call out people who are doing bad things to the environment. Support governments and organizations that are helping improve the state of the environment. And think of all the things we can as individuals do in our everyday lives to improve the state of the environment. So yeah, I really wanted to share that with everyone today. Thank you. It's a hard fact, but you must have all heard about the Paris Agreement, right? Many nations came together to sign a document that basically promised the world that we would not allow the temperature to rise above 1.5 degrees, because that essentially means that the world that we inhabit will be totally different. It will not be livable for us. We will not know the world the way we know it. We will not know seasons the way we know them. We will not experience the goodness that nature has bestowed on us the way we know it. According to a recent report, given the rate of carbon emissions in 2022, we're looking at a 1.5 degree rise within the next 9 years. That should be a shake-up and a wake-up call for everyone everywhere. And if it isn't for our political leaders, then we have to make damn sure as parents that we make sure it is. So
I love you, Dia. I love you. Anyone who knows me and follows my page here knows exactly why I'm saying this. Because, you know, I understand that we can't... Okay, I'm going to speak for myself. I would love to be as sustainable and care about the planet as much as I can, which I do, God knows I do. I can't necessarily be 100% plastic free, but what I can and what each one of you can make sure that you do is that you're mindful of the things you're buying, mindful of the things you're using. There's so many amazing options out there. I'm just going to throw a name of a brand. There's a brand called Refillable. Every household product of yours can be ordered from Refillable in glass bottles, and they take it back, and it's amazing. Things like balloons, you know, people used to be like, oh, it's a bit lame that you don't have balloons at your kid's birthday party. I mean, out of the 100 decor things there, 100%. 100%. And I refuse to have balloons at my kid's party. And, you know, my husband asked me once, you know, what if he looks at balloons everywhere else and says, oh, why aren't you giving? Now, he actually looks at balloons and very well knows the answer. They're destructive to the planet. He's not even 5. He knows the answer. Because it's our duty to, yes, we want those perfect Instagram pictures. It's my kid's party tomorrow. I want a perfect Instagram picture. But it can be perfect without waste and without balloons and without all of that stuff. There's a lot of things we can do if we just are a little bit mindful. And just like Dia said, I literally urge each one of you to please think before, you know, you buy stuff. Think about what it is you're buying. Things may cost a little bit more money. You know, everyone complains about, oh, my child is sick, my child is coughing again, the air sucks, where do we live, what a country, what a city, blah, blah, blah. Yet comes Diwali and everyone wants to burst crackers. Why, guys? Why? Like, and if, you know, Tanya, are you here? Where are you? No, Tanya, Khoopchandani? Oh, she just left. Okay, so Tanya and I put out a reel about, you know, a very sweet reel about how we shouldn't burst crackers this Diwali. Trolled, we were attacked. It was a disaster. I was like, are you guys even kidding me? Like, why is this even like a fight right now? You know, it's a ridiculous fight. My kids had a great time. They took all their laser lights to the terrace and they had a light show of their own and we played and we had fun and they didn't have to deal with that air and they didn't have to deal with being a cause of ruining the planet further. So, I mean, what you do is amazing. I don't do half of what you do, but I'm trying. And each one of us needs to try. Make that little, just, you know, improve even 5% more every month with what you did the previous month, and you're gold. And we're gold. But we all have to make that change.
And just to add, you know, we have Nikki here, who's like hiding in the background as always. So Nikki and her husband, Sandeep Singh, have actually started off something called Blue Tribe Foods, right? Which is, you know, a plant-based meat alternative. Which again, by the way, you know, meat is actually a very large source of carbon emissions, as we all know, right? And you know, I just saw you there and I was hearing both of them speak and I was like, you know, so if anyone's interested in talking more on this subject as well, I mean, I think there are enough and more people who are really passionate. Session on this. There are enough and more. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm just going to pass the mic to Nisha now. And then we're going to pass the mic around to y'all, okay? It's a simple question. Don't overthink it. Speak from your heart. What superpower would you want to have as a mom?
I think I want to be omnipresent. I want to be a helicopter parent without having that title. I want to watch every time what Kavish is doing. And I want to be a working mom and have all those aspirations and ambitions like a normal human. Yeah. You know, that's all. I'm sure most of us want that.
Why can't there be cameras in our schools?
Yes.
See what's happening?
Yes.
I feel you. Okay, we're going to pass the mic on to y'all now. And tell us what superpower you would want to have. Okay, fine. We're going to pass it to 3 people. 1, 2, 3. No, Shreya's got to go.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mickey. I'm a content creator of Mom on Trial. So one superpower I feel is very less because our wish list is always too big. But if I come to the first one is, like I want to really understand at times what goes in my child's mind because now they are not completely protected by us. They are exposed to so many things. And at times I want to be at the same page what he's thinking. So if I get that power, thank you.
Hi, I would want to be invisible. So I I'm going to be a mom of a teenager in some time. So I do. Yeah, so exactly, something similar. So I would definitely want to be invisible and I want to just raid on and spy on him all the time.
Okay, so hi, I'm Vinny. So the superpower which I want to have is, having that mind on and off button, because whenever we are out, we are sitting here still, the mom mind is always tuck, 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 tuck. So I want to have a superpower of on and off button with my mind.
So after, let's conclude the sharing circle here. But mums, we would love to record a soundbite with you. So once we're done, please come on the stage and tell us the superpower that you would like to have. Now I would like to call Kriyan on the stage. Kriyan. Mona, can we get the check, please? Yes.
And announce the winner of who's...
So thank you so much for being here.
Amazing. It really is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, thank you to Baby Chakra. This is a truly...
Would Shashank, you like to come on the stage and announce the winner of yes?
I'm so excited to hear this. And I'm also, and I know all of you are waiting.
Any guesses? I mean, you guys have been at it. Any guesses who's going to win?
Shreya's working for the L'Occitane pass here, guys. Can't you all see it? Oh, you want both? Okay, Shreya wants to win everything. Why not? 100%.
Jihal Pahar.
Do you want to give your phone to someone?
Kriyan. So Kriyan, we'll just fill this check up and send it across. Yeah, of course. In Geenal's name. Guys, once again for Geenal, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tanushree and Simone Khambatta. Can you take a team picture with the panel?
Take a team picture. Go.